Krishan Rock said we don't like black women because we want to be black women, and then goes ahead and calls us enchiladas, which, by the way, is freaking hilarious. First of all, we don't want to be black women. We just love black women.
Right, racists, let's talk.
I'm
just going to come out and say it. A majority of white people wish that they were black. They wish that they had the ability to create or invent. They wish that they had the ability to wear a variety of hairstyles. They wish that they had the ability to dance.
I get really irritated watching white people, white creators, white actors, basically white people with some modicum of influence, imitate black people in any degree.
Can someone become black? When asked about his shift in musical style, Jack Harlow replied by saying that he became blacker.
I got blacker.
Black music.
Yeah. Deeper into black.
But why do white artists want to be black so badly?
Ever notice how white people who want to be black really desperately always say the word black like that? Like bleh. Like bleh. Like they're allergic to the CK. Like bleh. Like my daddy 1/8 bleh. Graham Cracker, if you don't sit down.
Let me say something that might make people uncomfortable. Some of the biggest trends you see today, they didn't just appear out of nowhere. The music, the fashion, the slang, the energy, that's all as a source. And now more people are not just consuming it, they are embracing it. And that shift, it's getting attention. Before I go any further, go watch those clips. Don't just listen, observe carefully, because when you come back, we are going to break down what this really means. Let's go watch those clips and we'll come back for our full details analysis.
Krishan Rock said we don't like black women because we want to be black women, and then goes ahead and calls us enchiladas, which, by the way, is freaking hilarious. First of all, we don't want to be black women. We just love black women, okay? Like, we're not about to be doing this, like, race war thing, because black women are beautiful. Like, what are you talking about? So, I mean, I get why you would think that, but we love our culture as Hispanics, as Latinas. So, anyway, we gotta take it with a grain of salt, because I really feel like, Krishan, you got bigger fish to fry. Okay, you can't be picking fights with people. I thought having a son matures people. Like, come on, girl. What I hope comes out of this is that they're just doing this for the plot and they end up collabing or something. Wendy, you need to chill, because girl, you're playing with fire. Stop dragging it. But the whole thing is just funny. But anyway, let's just not do that, okay, Krishan?
Began life in Germany as a light-skinned blonde girl, making headlines around the world when she had injections to change the color of her skin.
Over the past 2 years, Martina Big has radically altered her appearance in order to become a black woman. And this morning has followed every step of her controversial story.
When I was younger, I admired the curves of Pamela Anderson. My next step is going to pump up my lips also. My eye color has changed. My eyebrow color has changed. And I can feel in myself that I'm changing to a black woman. I like the curves of black women, and I want to get them step by step.
Well, Martina is here now alongside her new husband, Michael. And good morning to both of you. Thank you.
Can someone become black? When asked about his shift in musical style, Jack Harlow replied by saying that he became blacker.
I got blacker.
Black music.
Yeah. Deeper into black.
But why do white artists want to be black so badly? To help explain this dynamic, let's break down Bell Hooks' Eating Together to explain how white consumers will commodify blackness by framing it as primitive and pleasurable in order to soothe their own numbness and their own identity crisis. Rap music is widely considered as black music. It is often seen as an authentic representation of the black experience. Yet if it's truly authentic, why is it that the largest consumers of rap music happen to be white youth, and that white executives continue to dominate its production and distribution? This contradiction can be understood in the concept of imperialist nostalgia, which is basically the longing for cultures that dominant groups have historically oppressed as a way to hide the colonial guilt of destroying their cultures. And so what happens is that black culture is reimagined not as something that is shaped by struggle and resistance, but as something that is exciting, authentic, and free. Central to this whole idea is primitivism, the idea of constructing non-white cultures as more sensual, more alive, and more free, and more natural. And so for a lot of white youth who feel dissatisfied with white culture and whiteness, they will turn to blackness as a sign of escape, a sign of experiencing more feeling, more meaning, and more intensity. This desire, however, is not neutral, and it can be turned to a sort of cultural tourism or spectacle, where if a lot of people are not having enough contact with Black communities, their only contact being rap music, this can create a very stereotypical portrayal of what Blackness really is, and can lead to more consumption, more desire, without actual accountability. And that's the difficulty, because then even people who are trying to find themselves artistically are often forced systemically and economically to meet these portrayals. This relates to Mikhail Foucault's understanding of pleasure, in which he says, the kind of pleasure I would consider as the real pleasure would be so deep, so intense, so overwhelming that I couldn't survive it, I would die. So for dominant culture to experience the heightened, the epitome of pleasure is to simply become Black. Because when the rap industry portrays Black bodies as sites of both danger and sites of also desire, from lyrics that depict their lives living on the edge and engaging in very dangerous activity, even if they're talking about real life experiences, the consumer will see this as a way for them to experience the heightened pleasure without actually having to be Black, without actually having to undergo years and years of violence and marginalization. White consumers' fascination for the violence, crime, and rebellion talked about in the rap industry fuels a market demand for a very narrow and exaggerated version of Blackness. Whiteness is seen as the default, is seen as normal, whereas Blackness is the fetishized, is the dangerous, is the other. The logic behind Eating the Other is powerfully seen in Get Out, where the Armitage family is literally selling Black bodies in a way to offer physical and sensory enhancements. The desire to inhabit Chris's body reflects the same belief that Blackness offers something more powerful, more vital, and more pleasurable, and that the person who gets to wear Chris's body gets to just wear the best parts, more pleasurable parts, but not actually experience the structural barriers that continue to oppress Black people today. Essentially, by sensationalizing their bodies, they're able to feel as though they're more alive, they're able to consume the other. Here's the caveat: when rap music is constantly desired for being dangerous, it can easily transform into anti-Blackness. This connection is evident in the 2019 killing of Elijah Elamine, a Black teenager who was murdered by a white man for listening to rap music because he felt very threatened by people who listened to it. So we can really see how stereotypes of danger, of violence that is perpetuated in the rap industry, but at the same time desired and wanted and fetishized, are the same things that can continuously harm Black communities. Now that we both understand the concept of eating the other, imperialist nostalgia, and the ways in which the commodification and fetishization of Black culture shows up in the rap industry, I think we can both understand better why Jack Harlow's statement was so harmful. Because to say that he's become Blacker is not simply a comment on his music style, it reflects a broader and cultural logic in which Blackness is treated as something that can be easily adopted, consumed, and culturally appropriated. This highlights a fundamental inequality within the rap industry and society as a whole. While white artists have the freedom to explore different genres and get to actually profit off of different Black cultural forms, Black artists themselves are constrained by expectations to perform very narrow, very exaggerated, very stereotypical identities and forms of Blackness in order to achieve commercial success. Because while Jack Harlow can pick out the parts of Blackness that he deems as more pleasurable, as more cool and more artistic, he has the privilege to basically stay away from the systemic discrimination, surveillance, and violence that shapes the lives of Black artists every single day.
I was watching a video today, and this mixed race man was saying that despite the fact that he is 50% white and 50% Black, he will never ever be seen as a white man. He will always be seen as a Black man. It made me think about some parents of mixed race children, specifically Black and white, who are navigating this tension. You thought that if you had this mixed race child, you would gain proximity to whiteness. You thought that your child would be able to have access to spaces that you didn't have access to. But that isn't what's happening. Actually, your child looks Black. Your child is more likely to be identified as Black than white, more likely to be accepted by Black people than white people. And that is grieving you. That is hurting you. You are having to reckon with this very real reality. I think if that's you, if this is resonating with you, this real reality of what it means to be mixed race, but actually just be seen as Black and all of the things that comes with it, is hard. This is hard stuff, and it's hard to have to accept some of the racism that lives inside of you that had these hopes of being closer to whiteness, had these hopes of being accepted by white people who have not accepted you. I think it's worth having this conversation. I think it's worth talking to parents of mixed race people themselves, and speaking to them explicitly about what it means to be rejected by the 50%. By what you feel you could have been, should have been.
Right, racists, let's talk.
Let's
I'm just
talk.
going to come out and say it. A majority of white people wish that they were Black. They wish that they had the ability to create or invent. They wish that they had the ability to wear a variety of hairstyles. They wish that they had the ability to dance. They wish that they had original fashion. They wish that their style was memorable. They wish that they were able to turn heads in public. They wish that they could spend more than 2 hours in the sun. They wish to be desired. They wish that they could smell as good as black people. They wish that they were as superior as black people. They wish that they were as athletic as black people. Even wish that they were indigenous and could be gifted an entire planet from the Most High. They wish that they could excel at music and the arts. They wish that they could be scholars like black people. They wish that they were as intelligent as black people. They wish that they could even cook like black people. They even wish that they could look as cool as black people do in their cars, which explains why they have the windows rolled down at all fucking times. And the real big one, they really wish that they could age as gracefully.
I love that he clocked his people's tea. I love to see white people that are actually honest. I really do. And I always tell y'all that love and hate lives on the same spectrum. They love you so much that they start to hate you. All that superiority, it's really inferiority in reverse. Why? If you are so tired of people, because now they're trying to co-opt and colonize black fatigue, right? If you're so tired of people, why are you always in our comment sections? Why are you always watching everything that we're doing? If I don't like somebody and I'm afraid for my life, I'm not going to walk up to them and try to engage with them in any type of way. I'm going to walk the other way. It's not fair. It's not fatigue. It's obsession. It's admiration. It's love. It's jealousy, envy. For those who actually operate that way. And then when you look in the comment sections, there was some white people saying this is true. This is facts. Facts on facts on facts. I mean, why do you think movies like Get Out was created? Get Out. Y'all remember Get Out? Ciao. Anyways, spread love is the Brooklyn way. What y'all think? Do y'all agree with what this Caucasian man had to say? The truth shall be revealed. Ooh, and this is why they're trying to destiny swap so bad. Because they literally want to be us. They want to be the ones that was oppressed. They want to be the ones that's experiencing racism. They want to be the ones that, is on the opposite side of history. But we know who they are. We know the truth. Anyways, bye.
I get really irritated watching white people, white creators, white actors, basically white people with some modicum of influence, imitate black people in any degree for something that we would get vilified for. I don't like hearing them talk with a black accent. I don't like seeing them do their baby hairs. I don't like seeing them in a bonnet out in public. I do not like hearing them use Ave. I don't like seeing them with super long nails. There are just some things that I'm like, if we did that, nobody in the room would respect us. But because they're doing it, it's okay. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy to me. I think about how much mental and emotional tax we pay as black people doing whatever it is necessary to keep ourselves in the room that we need to be in to make progress. And y'all are over here trying to be us, vilifying us for the very same thing you want to do so bad. I don't like it. It bothers me a lot. I don't want to hear your defense. I don't want to hear that you grew up with black people or that you have black best friends down the street or your mom's best friends, cousins, sisters, baby daddy was black. Like, I don't care about any of that. I just think it's crazy that white people get praised for the very same things that black people get villainized for.
I hate that everybody wants to be a part of black American culture. Now everybody trying to say they were a part of the rap movement. No, the fuck y'all was not. No, the fuck y'all was not. Y'all are weird and sick and obsessed with us, bro. Like, I feel like black Americans need to separate from everybody. I'm sorry to say it like this. I have love for everybody, but as a black American, we need to get the fuck from everybody. It's like every day, black American this, black American that. Y'all are dick writers, bro. It makes no sense. Let me tell y'all something, because if y'all could have did what we did, y'all would have already done it. The reason why nobody has done what we did is because can't nobody do it. It's starting to give jealousy like, oh, they were slaves but still came out on top. Like, that's what it's giving. Like, it's like people cannot fathom that we had the most tragic slave trade and still came out on top. I think that really fucks with people's like mental, like, how could they be slaves and still do better than us? That's what it's giving. Because I don't understand the obsession. Everybody wants to be a part of everything that we do. Like, leave us alone.
My dad is black, my mom is white. I do not identify as a black woman. Also do not identify as a white woman. I actually identify as what I am, which is biracial. You ask some, being mixed doesn't even exist. Choosing to not identify as a black woman has nothing to do with not acknowledging who I am, and so much more to do with just my personal choice. There have been numerous times in my life where people just think I am a white girl. There is very few times where people have thought I was a black girl just by the way that I present. Again, I consider myself a mixed girl because that's what I am. But I personally do not feel comfortable if you were to say to me, "What are you?" because people do ask that question. I wouldn't feel right saying I'm black. This is not to be controversial, and I don't owe anyone an explanation, but I think this is a topic that could be talked about because a lot of people think that I'm white. I have not dealt with half of the BS that black women go through. I could straighten my hair, dye it blonde, and go on about my life and not have to deal with a lot of things that I know black women deal with. Not to say biracial people don't deal with our own shit, because that's literally why I started posting and talking about this stuff. But it's different. Gotta wash my face. I almost feel like a fraud to say I am a black woman when, I don't know if this makes sense. It's never felt right to me, and it has nothing to do with not wanting to acknowledge my blackness. Sounds silly to say, but that's just my truth. It's the same way, there's many reasons, but I don't say the N-word. Never have, never will. It doesn't feel comfortable to me, and I don't say it. It's just never been a part of my vocabulary. So I'm curious if you are also mixed, biracial, black and white, or really anything. What do you identify as? And I always struggled with this, taking standardized tests and things like that, because it would always say black, white, and there was very rarely an opportunity for 2 or more races. This is not for pity. This is just for opening conversations, because I think it's a cool and important conversation to have, because I feel like not enough people talk about stuff like this. So
now let's talk about this. What we are witnessing here is something powerful. Cultural influences becoming undeniable, because this isn't new. It's just more visible now than ever. This is not just about trend, it's about where culture starts, how it spread, and who shapes it. Because culture doesn't move randomly. It comes from creativity, experience, and expression. Now let's talk this real. Black communities have shaped global trends for generations, from music and sound, fashion and style, language and expression, and creativity across industry. This influences everywhere, and what makes it powerful is this: it was built through innovation, resilience, and originality, often in space where people had to create something from nothing. So when more people connect to that culture, it shows its strength, not just as an entertainment, but as an identity and expression. Now, here is where this conversation gets deeper. There is a difference between enjoying a culture and understanding it, because culture is not just style, music, and appearance. It's all about history, expression, and its meaning. And recognizing that differences, it really goes a long way. This moment is important because people are paying attention. They are starting to ask, where did this come from? Who created this? And what does this represent? And that awareness changes how people engage. Let me ask you something. Have you ever followed a trend, loved a vibe, and used a face without knowing its origin? That happens all the time, but now people are starting to look deeper. This topic is going viral because culture is visible through social media, through music, through everyday life. It's spreading faster. And when people notice pattern, conversation begins. Let's zoom out. This is about influence, recognition, respect, because when something becomes global, it deserves acknowledgement. Not just participation, but understanding. And at the end of the day, this isn't about division, it's about awareness, appreciation, and respect. Because culture is powerful, and when you understand it, it moves differently. Let's be honest. Do you think people truly understand the culture they follow, or are they just enjoying the surface? Drop your thoughts below. I want real opinion on this. And if you like content that goes deeper than trend. Stay logged in because we are not just watching what is happening, we are understanding it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next video.